Okay, May, explain the facts, though. Explain why this ruling has nothing to do with abortion.
Absolutely nothing. So everyone's talking about this ruling. Well, what was this ruling? What the Alabama Supreme Court did was it said that parents, when they entrust an IVF clinic with their embryos, and that clinic allows another random patient into that embryo storage facility and smashes those embryos, that those parents can recover, not because they've lost their property, they didn't lose their computer or something, they lost something more fundamental. And Alabama law has long held that preborn, pre-viable baby, preborn lives count as lives. And so this is really just whether these parents can recover. These parents are in favor of IVF. They were IVF patients. They just want compensated for their embryos being smashed due to the IVF clinic's negligence.
Yeah. Dr. Sapphire, I want to get your perspective here. It's very unique because you're not only a healthcare provider, but you're also a mom. Give me your perspective on this, but also, I mean, the judge ruled on this from the parents' perspective of the situation.
Well, Aisha, I may explain this beautifully. You know, I have been very blessed that I was able to have 3 children without having to use any sort of, fertilization help. But I can tell you that IVF is the ultimate pro-life movement because this is trying to give life to people who are not able to have children otherwise. Now, what the big question is, we're trying to talk about a law when it comes to a philosophy. When does life actually begin? And there is no clear-cut answer there right now. And so while I understand the heartache from the parents' perspective that the embryos were lost, so they want adequate compensation, it is detrimental to the entire industry that if you say that life actually begins in these embryos at the test tube level, they could go very extreme on this. At what point do you say, okay, well, if you can be held almost as though it was homicide by dropping those embryos, what happens if a mother has a miscarriage? Are you actually saying she's responsible for that, fetus's death? And of course, the answer is no. So this is obviously a very charged, heated debate, but ultimately, at the end of the day, if these cells are not implanted into a woman's uterus, I'm hard pressed to go for the argument that this was life and that they should be compensated for damages as though it was a child itself.
Okay, we'll see if the state legislature takes any action in the coming days. To both of you, thanks for being on the show. Really good to see you. I want to get to some breaking news now.